Who want one last trip to the long trail?
At the start of this video, I want to give the person on the Tekken subreddit credit for making this awesome Kazuya render that you're seeing featured in the thumbnail of my video. I think it's really cool and I just want to share it, so hopefully they're okay with that. Go check them out on Reddit. We have some really important tweets here to talk about, but before we gotta circle back. I feel like I'm always circling back, but that's because I try to keep you guys updated as possible. If you guys seen the past videos that I did, I was talking about how there was a leak. Now, of course, I'm not gonna show anything, but I guided all of you over to my Twitter so you can see those leaks because they cannot be shared on YouTube. But then I later deleted those. So maybe a lot of you probably showed up and was like, hey, what's going on? Where are they? The reason why I deleted them is because the news account that accidentally published all of that stuff early, they were contacting everyone and saying, please, can you please take it down? They sent this long message to me, and I'm assuming everyone else on Twitter who was sharing it because there was a lot of accounts. Because at the time, we just thought it was some gameplay. We thought it came from an official source. The same thing Harada did. Official source, we all shared it. Of course, I tagged it as the leak, and some people did as well, but a lot of people just shared it because they thought it was official. This person had to make the rounds and tell everyone, like, can you please take it down? And out of respect for them, I did. In the meantime, let's talk about some of the other things that the developers announced for Tekken 8. First one, let's start with a tweet from Harada. This goes back to 2016. I just think this is so fascinating. Someone says, please bring back scenario campaign type mode in Tekken 7. Harada said, the Tekken 7 story mode is more good than the Tekken 6 scenario campaign story mode. This is something that I've seen Harada say before, how like the story that they told in Tekken 7 was really good, but obviously they want to make it better in Tekken 8. They want to build upon it. Tekken 7 had a lot of shortcomings and story also falls into that. So this time around they're pumping a lot of budget into the story. We could just tell already with what we've seen, it looks light years ahead of what Tekken 7 offered. I highly doubt there will be a narrator, there will be any of that stuff that we dislike with Tekken 7. And you guys watching, let me know down below, what would you rather prefer, scenario campaign or Tekken 7? Because, I don't want to say too much. We may be getting some kind of combination of it. If you just look at what the tweet that Markman put out said, there's your answer. Here's the real juicy tweet. I actually recognize this person. Shout out to this person for being a follower on Twitter. All of you guys be like Ren Lockhart. This person tweets at Ikeda and says, I want to ask you a very important question. 2 questions. Number 1, will arcade mode be present in Tekken 8? This is something that everybody has been saying over and over and over again. Now we know the what if episodes are in the game, but we don't know how we will go about accessing them. And then the other question is, will they have normal arcade endings? I have a video that will be published in a couple of days where I talk about why I think the what if scenarios are actually bad for the development of the game. Yeah, it may be some cool moments, some hoo-hoo, ha-ha, laughing moments, but I don't think it's going to do anything in terms of development. So I hope that there is actual substantial development for the characters and not just non-canon endings, because what have we been doing for the past 7 years? We have been making fun of Paul Phoenix, Lily, Asuka, and I would hate for those characters to have no progression even beyond Tekken 8. That would be kind of ridiculous, right? It sounds ridiculous even saying it, but the what if scenarios makes it seem like that's the route that they're going. The second question says, can Tekken Ball be played offline as a separate option, or will it be played in Arcade Quest only? Ikeda responds to this tweet and says the traditional arcade mode exists separately from Arcade Quest. Ikeda says Tekken Ball is also available as an offline mode with CPU battles and competitive matches. Michael Murray also reposted this, giving it his stamp of approval. The final tweet that I want to mention, this is once again Japanese translated to English, and it's a little bit dated, but I think it's also relevant and also important to what we're about to experience in a month and a half. Someone says, Tekken 7 story mode, the Mishima saga was insanely fun. I'd like to see another story for other characters, even if it's just downloadable content. I'm curious about what happens after season 4 movie that I'm just daydreaming. So this is kind of my whole shtick, right? Talking about the story, talking about the characters, seeing where they go. And this is something that I also mentioned as well, right? Mortal Kombat is confirmed to be doing a story DLC. Street Fighter, they kind of do story DLC with the addition of characters. They have their own missions and whatnot you can complete. You can interact with them. So that's a kind of story DLC. Will Tekken 8 also provide it? Because a lot of players want it. Harada responds to this. He says, "Thank you. The story area is one of the things we would like to see strengthened in the future." This can be taken so many different ways, but I think it speaks volume as for what Harada is trying to do with the story. Because, Tekken 7, like we were just talking about, it gets a lot of flack for what it did in the story. Not enough. It didn't perform. And a lot of people are very worried about where Tekken 8 goes in terms of story and development for the characters. Once again, talking about the video that I have coming, and this is just one tweet here. There's some others in news articles and whatnot, basically where Harada says that he wants to make it better. There's another tweet, and I'll really try to find it, but someone said Harada, why is the story for Tekken so bad, or something like that? And then Harada responded to that tweet and said, if it was made by someone else or if it planned better, it would be better. Just something. It was kind of a somber tweet because Harada kind of realizes how the potential that the story has and how the past games hasn't reached that potential. But that's the thing, right? Realizing the error means that you can correct it in the future. And the future is now with Tekken 8. What they're doing to just push it forward is going to be unlike anything that we've seen.